in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways, payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word, bring light into the dark, and I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought, just gotta watch who I'm feeding. And I been walking with them angels, so I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak, nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft, better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. My hymen say I cup full, no room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, it drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter, the lies are sweet. Tried everything, I guess me and YAHANNA had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak, and teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece, and I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Shit call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame. UPK loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame. UPK loyal to the king.
Till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group 5 holler. For the regatta niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been the proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm doing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth your mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when the heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, but down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is it effective? If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jake. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chains. 6 shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
I got you. I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look.
City eyes, it's time to Bogart. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation voltage and fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Revenge taste sweet, told him make me an apple crisp. Left us in the valley full of bone. bones, this where hope found. Child become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad, telling me how them crackers turned his childhood to a ghost town. Poker stop, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Waldo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got
back roll.
Than the I.S.U.P.K on you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go on, close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll poly grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. There's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, they got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that God flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Lightest in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed
one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zoc, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch me a whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. He ain't locked in with the count and with you speaking to me far. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Came through with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch we whole cart. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah. This a Batman tune. I promise you. This shit lit, cuz. This shit lit. Alright? Run that joint.
Niggas looking for the life. Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rubber.
They in the building. We in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog. You with us or not? We can get it on when it's on. It don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy. You on holy ground. They in the building. We in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop off. I die for I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they a drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. Say he cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did to Billy go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Wednesday history class. Listen, we have some difficulties, some technical difficulties. We've been running late, so we're going to jump straight in. We're going to give you the complete history it should be of Samhain, pronounced Samhain.
Hit settings just so it's proper audio.
We should bear with me 1 second. Yeah, we should.
No, it's not. You press it. It's USB one, bottom one.
This one.
Yeah.
Me?
Now I can hear you, sir.
I can hear me. All right, is it loud and clear?
Yeah, cut on Khan, sir.
Most on Christ. All right, then this is the people pronounce it Samhain, but the proper pronunciation is. All right, bear with me. Oh yeah, we're back. All right, then. So now I'm gonna jump straight into it. We're running late. On the technical difficulties, so we're gonna go into the roots of Samhain. So the class is called Halloween's roots comes from a pagan holiday called Sam. People it's pronounced start Samhain, but the proper pronunciation, how the council have said it, is Samhain. So we're gonna go straight into it. If one of the brothers could get me this slide, Brother Kushal.
Canada concert. The Irish year was divided into two halves.
So this is what you need. This is what you need to understand the Irish year. So Samhain is one half of the Irish year. They used to have 8 feasts. So they had a thing called the Wheel of the Year. So with the Wheel of the Year, they had like a feast every 6 weeks, and then that would round up their whole year. So they had big ones, they had smaller ones. Samhain was one of their big ones. Why? Because that meant summer's end. So they would have that because that meant the end of summer. So that's why they would celebrate it. Go ahead.
Grimhearth. Winter, Grimhearth, and summer, Samhain. With winter preceding summer, we see the same summer. We see the same thing in Gaul, as demonstrated by Coligny calendar, with 3 days to celebrate Samhain.
So they would celebrate Samhain. It was a 3-day feast once upon a time. Go ahead.
Trinvix, Samo, Sinvix are the 3 nights of Samanios. In the same way as the year, the day was divided into two halves, with the night from the sunset preceding the daylight.
Go ahead.
The year itself was divided into 8 parts.
So now this is the Wheel of the Year. So to understand this, you need to understand that they had a thing called the Wheel of the Year. So now this is where they would divide the 8 parts of the year, and they would have a feast on each one, where they would sacrifice on hills to the gods that they served. So they would have a hill called Tara. They would sacrifice on there, and they would do bonfires on that hill, and that's where bonfire night comes from. So all of that is pagan also. All of that there is the worship of another god. Even though King James will tell you that bonfire night is about Guy Fawkes night, that's a lie. The origins of it comes from the Celts. So even before they called it Guy Fawkes night, it was always known as bonfire night, and over time they changed the name to bonfire night. Go ahead.
Subdivided into 8 parts of approximately 6 weeks, each marked by a festival.
So now they would have a festival every 6 weeks. Go ahead.
These 8 festivals began at the Celtic New Year.
And the Celtic New Year is around this time. So their Celtic New Year would be like the end of October, the beginning of November. And Samhain, which is part Samhain, that would be the beginning of their New Year. So they would have their festival, and their festival is what you know today as Halloween, which you celebrate unknowingly. Go ahead.
Which was Samhain, summer's end.
So it means summer's end. So that's what the meaning means, summer's end. Go ahead.
Which is considered the entry point into the dark part of the year.
And now this is the dark part of the year. Why? Because it's turning into winter. So they would make all these sacrifices and they would pray to their gods, because they believe that during this time of the year, the portal was the finish between this world and a place which they called the overworld. Now the overworld was where the spirits was, and they believed there was no lining around this time of year. So they believed the spirits could pass over into different worlds. So they would make sacrifices and light bonfires and do all of those things. Why? Because they didn't want to get sucked into the overworld of death. But they believed that their dead loved ones could come back from the overworld and enter into this world. and that's where they would give sweets and food and all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
The 8 points of note are in order: Samhain, winter solstice, I.S.U.P.K, spring
So now
equinox.
these are the part of the 8 feasts that make up the wheel of the year. Hold on, let me skip this one for actually go ahead. Yeah, actually go ahead.
Beltane, summer solstice.
And Beltane was like a highly fire festival. So now, if you know anything about them Wiccans and them Druids, these was the Celtic people. The Druids was the priests of the Celts, and the Wiccans was like your witches and so forth, and your wizards and your warlocks. Go ahead.
Lognasad, and autumn equinox.
So these was their feast days: the winter solstice, the autumn equinox. What you'll find is all of the feasts that the Celts had, they also adopted these in Christianity. So now they've adopted these in Christianity, but they've just changed the name of them. So now they give you Easter, which the Celts had way before. They give you Halloween, which the Celts had way before. They give you Christmas, which the Celts had way before. Go ahead.
These equinoxes and solstices are universal. They have been celebrated by humanity across the world for millennia, but the 4 Celtic festivals are unique to Western Europe. Although they are somewhat familiar traditions in many countries around the world. All 8 of these pagan festivals have managed to survive in Europe and in mutated Christianized form.
But even they know that these pagan holidays have stuck around in a Christianized form. Because what happened once the Romans converted to Christianity, to keep everybody happy, they kept all the customs and just changed the names on them, but it's still the original pagan custom. Go ahead.
Which has already been...
All right, so this is the wheel of the year right here. So if you look at the top, if you see this anywhere, this is what the wheel of the year looks like. So this will let you know the festivals, like you have Samhain, you have Yule, you have I.S.U.P.K, you have Estera. These are the feasts that they celebrated, and this is what the wheel of the year looked like. So they would have these so you could know what time of year you're in, what season you're in, and what you're supposed to celebrate. And then underneath, it gives you the dates of when you used to celebrate them. So if you look underneath, these are the dates that they used to celebrate them. Now they call this one a greater Sabbath, lesser Sabbath, meaning these is just holy days for them. So now the greater ones would be Samhain and the winter solstice. Then the lesser ones would be the ones which is in between. Let me skip this. So now this is them right here. This is other ones, Lifa, Lammas, Mabon. So these is ones that they used to celebrate. And when you look at it, it says here, the quarter fire festival, the day of power. Now the fire festivals, these was what they would have called Beltane. And these fire festivals is where you get your bonfire from, where everybody lights a fire and burns things on there. Because the Celts was very into sacrifices. They would burn up their animals. They would burn up humans also, burn up their children. They would offer their children to a thing called the Wicker Man. Hold on, let me skip that one. So like, Hakian, get me this one, Bob Shaw.
Come on, Counselor. So like, you know the Wicker Man, right? Mm-hmm. They use that now as a some type of law, isn't it? That they use. Or is it the straw man? Sorry, the straw. That's different. Salakia,
you're on about the straw man's law.
Yeah, that's different. Talk Salakia. My bad. So it is clear that in the pre-Duric or proto-Duric times, the people of Ireland constructed sacred sites in stone to mark the astronomically important times of the year, including Samhain.
So it's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. So that word is Samhain.
Samhain.
Yeah, go ahead.
The start of the Irish year during the pagan era. As well as solar festivals, the Irish celebrated the lunar events with no being clear linked with the lunar festivities for the 13 moons of the year. Pagan festivities in Ireland were explicitly linked with the agricultural cycle of the year and also with veneration of the gods.
So now they're letting you know this pagan festival was linked to agriculture and all of those kind of things, meaning what? They used to believe in gods that made their crops grow, gods that gave them animals for the next year. That's what they used to believe in. So they used to make sacrifice with all these bonfires that they used to do, and with all of this, these 8 festivals that they had.
Hold on, Khan. The ancestors, the land itself, with the cycle of life and death. These festivals were not just religious events and celebrations, they were social and governmental events, often referred to as the Onak. Modern Irish Anok, or assembly, and still took place 1,000 years after Christianity was introduced to Ireland.
And it took years. It still took place 1,000 years after Christianity was introduced to Ireland. Why? Because now the Christians went there, and what did? They just incorporated it into the things that they do. Hold on, let me get this one. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Benjamin, get me this.
In Ireland, the worldview was threefold, but somewhat different from the modern religious view of heaven.
So now this is letting you know what the Celts believed in. They believed in 3 worlds. They believed in the world that they lived. They believed in the sea world, and they believed in a place called the otherworld. Now, the place which they called the otherworld, they believe that's where people that pass away go. They believe that death and fairies and all of those things live in that place called the otherworld. Go ahead.
Heaven, earth, hell. The Irish and Welsh pagans believed in 3 realms: the upper world, sky; middle world, earth; and other world, sea. The upper world was the realm of the gods, and also spirits that we might liken to angels and demons. The middle world was the realm of physical existence, where we live out our everyday lives.
So they believe we live in the middle world. Go ahead.
The other world was the realm of the dead, and also Sidhelios, fairies, and
so that part they just believe fairies was there, but skip the brackets part and go ahead.
Strictly speaking, the realm of the dead was not under the sea, but beyond the horizon in the west, where the sun sets.
But they believe that the other world was where the sun sets. So you see it at night when you see the sun go down. They believe that once that sun goes down, they believe the other world was over there. They believe the other world was over the water. That's what they believed in, that the other world was over the water. So lucky, get me this one. Hold on, let me see if I need this one. Yeah, go ahead.
However, this idea of exploring the 3 realms does, of course, relate to the other world, and thereby to we said it was Samhain, Samhain, the time of the year most strongly associated with the Irish otherworld, the Sid, and the ancestors. Irish stories are full of examples of people visiting the other world, or those from the other world visiting the middle world.
So now they believe that the dead from the other world would come back and visit people in the middle world. So at this time of year, they said people from the other world, the dead, would come back and visit people in the middle world. So that's what they believe. So this is why they used to leave plates of food out. What they would do is have an empty seat in their house and leave a plate of food out in case their loved ones wanted to come and visit. That's the kind of nonsense that they believe. Go ahead.
And when a fox come and yum it, then they think their people them eat it.
No, because they used to leave it in the house along when they eat.
Oh,
so then afterwards, what they would do afterwards, then they would go give it to the poor.
Right, can't.
That's how they would do it.
Both fairies, people lost to the fairies, and the human dead. In modern Druid practice, it was possible to visit all 3 realms in meditation and journey.
And now this is where you get that nonsense from, where people tell you they meditated and had an outer experience and they went to this realm and that realm. I don't know if you speak to black people enough, they'll tell you that they've meditated and they've been to this realm and that realm. The Celts believed in all of this nonsense a long time ago. They believed in meditation, that they could go into a trance and they could have these out of body experiences and go to the other world. That's the nonsense that they believed. Go ahead.
Khan Khan, a form of trance, which presumably the ancient Irish were also able to do.
And the Irish made that. That's what they was able to do, which obviously we know it's not true. Go ahead.
Somewhat different from the Greek concept of the underworld. Tartarus, it is not a horrible place, and it is not visualized as under earth, although
I'm saying it's not like the Greeks, because the Greeks believed in like Hades and so forth and hell under the earth and whatnot, and a place of torment. So now these was the Celts. They didn't believe that theirs was under the earth. They believed that theirs was just across the horizon, and then there was a doorway and a gate, and there was a god called Don, which was the god of death, that would take you over to the other world. So that's what they used to believe. Go ahead.
Khan. Although access point mounds of the Cid are obviously in the earth, the various places of the Irish underworld are generally beyond the sea, over the horizon.
So now they would say it's over. They would say it's over the sea, over the horizon. Knowing if you're speaking to someone with no understanding, because they can't get over there, they would believe you. So that's why they would say, yes, over the sea, and there's a doorway which Don takes you through. Don collects the dead and takes them over the horizon into the other world. Go ahead.
Khan, or sometimes described as beyond the ninth wave. Next page, other one, if you could, sir.
No, sir. So now they would say it was beyond the wave. Go ahead.
Concept. The general consensus is that the Irish believed the underworld, the realm of both ancestors dead and the Sith, lay in the west, the place where the sun disappeared to after sunset.
So because of their lack of understanding where the sun goes, they believe that, all right, well, where do the dead go? They believe that the dead goes to where the sun goes. So they didn't know what it was called, so they gave it the name the otherworld, meaning they live in the other realm. So that's what they believed. Go ahead.
This would also make sense given that there is a stretch of water for approximately 3,000 miles west before hitting land again. An infinity of water to the ancient mind. It was believed that when people died, their spirit lived on, probably as a physical person in the other world, which was reached via the west through a gateway kept by the ancient Irish god Don.
And they believe this Irish god was in charge of the dead in the other world. They believe that he lived on in another world. Go ahead. So all of this right here is building you up to understand what Samhain's about. So this is why we're going into it from the get-go and whatnot. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Don, meaning brown and also dark, was the Irish god of the other world.
Go ahead.
It is often posited that Don is an otherworldly aspect of Daghalia, more represented as a distant ancestor of all those who die. Don is described as king of the dead and at Red Tower of the dead. And the three sons ride 3 horses of Don, saying, although we are alive, we are dead. A 9th century text referring to Don states, to me, my house, you shall come after your death.
So now there was literature of this idol called Don. There was literature that this was the god of death and of the overworld. And he goes, though we live, we are dead. And to my house you will come. So they would say, once you die, you go to that house. So that's what they believed. All of that nonsense. All right, Happy, and get me this one. Hold on, let me see if you need this one. Yeah, go ahead.
In ancient times, Bulrock teach doing off the West Kerry coast of the House of Don, from where the dead would be taken into the other world. It was the place where the dead assemble. In addition to Bulrock, 2 other locations are given as the residing place of Don. In folk tradition, knock, ferning.
So now this is letting you know. They say that Don used to ride out on horses. So during so-called Samhain, which is Halloween, they would say don't leave your horse out because they say the people from the other world that wanted to kill people in this world, they would ride on your horses and they could do it a lot quicker with the horse. So that's the nonsense they used to believe. But go ahead.
In Coal Limerick, and more similar to Bedrock, Dunbeg on the west coast of Coal Clare.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see this one. Give me the bottom part.
Don was not the only god associated with the other world and death. Manan is
so now this is another god that they believed in that was associated with death. So now if you're from England, you know you've heard of a place called the Isle of Man, right?
Khan.
So the Isle of Man is named after this god here. So Mananan, that's the Isle of Man is named after this god. So Mananan is what they named the Isle of Man after. So this was one of those gods that they used to worship also, so much that they even named the island after him. Go ahead.
Khan. Mananan is associated with the sea.
Hold on, let me skip this one for time's sake. Get me this one.
The festival of Sam is generally regarded as the most important of the 8 by modern pagans, and is also regarded as Pagan New Year.
No, right now, this would be the Pagan New Year. So if you're out celebrating Halloween, you're celebrating the Pagan New Year. Go ahead.
It would appear to have been the start of the year in pre-Christian times too. But whether or not it was regarded as the most important festival is impossible to say.
Go ahead.
From what has been covered in this chapter, it is clear that the other world was an important part of the Irish pagan worldview, and that several important deities were associated with death and with the souls of the dead, primarily in the Western Ocean or islands on the edge of it. Even Samhain, did not have quite the glamour and interest as Halloween does today. It would be unlikely to be as trivialized and superficial as the modern festivals largely become. Ancient peoples took death very seriously. Gaulish, British, and Irish pagans being no.
So they took death. They took the death seriously. So the whole dressing up in costumes. The reason they would dress up in costumes back then was to ward off evil spirits. So to ward off the evil spirits, they would dress like these evil spirits. Whereas nowadays, children are dressing up in these costumes. Whereas back then, even they understood dressing up as these evil spirits was an evil thing to do. They was doing it to scare the spirits off. Even there, so that's what I'm saying. So people do it now for fun. When it's not fun, it all goes back to this whole pagan tradition and whatnot. Go ahead.
Death today is perhaps more shocking in that it is a less frequent occurrence due to this starving off of disease, famine, and constant warfare. Nonetheless, the ancient Celtic peoples were well aware of their fragility and the ever-present threat of death, either through battle or by natural causes.
Go ahead.
Samhain was the entry point into winter, a time of hardship.
So this entry point, like I said, the two worlds, this is when they claimed the two worlds was that they're finished. So you could pass from either side. So this was their most important part of the year. Go ahead.
Entry point into winter, a time of hardship, cold, and hunger, especially for those who had not made the necessary preparations.
Go ahead.
It was also a time of introspection, of communing with the dead and the other world.
And this was the time that they would commune with the dead and the other world. Go ahead.
Themes that have somehow survived, albeit distorted into the modern era.
So they said these things have survived, but it's been distorted along the way. Go ahead.
While most modern people have little notion of Samhain, if they have ever heard of it, it has played an important role in Irish life for millennia, and for the form of Halloween, it still does today. We can go back into the ancient past through old Irish texts and the wonders of archaeology, but there is actually still a wealth of extant folk practices that are either still in existence now or have been recorded in relatively.
Samhain and Celtic priests and druids and so forth. Nowadays, those people are still around. If you look hard enough, you'll see them bringing the practices back. Back in the days, we'd have these practices everywhere, but witchcraft was banned up until I believe the late 1900s or something. Because if you was a witch, to do all these witch hunts. So these people that was into this, they couldn't do this. Why? Because if you know anything about King James, he was notorious for doing witch hunts, man. He was notorious for killing witches. Why? Because he believed that he was shipwrecked at sea when he went to go come back to England with his wife, Anne of Denmark. He was shipwrecked at sea. And then after that, he was told by one of his men, yo, you know those witches put a spell on you? And then obviously he went on a witch hunt. And this is why he made it his mission to rid his kingdom of witches. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, November Eve is sacred to the spirits of the dead.
And November Eve is sacred to the spirits of the dead. So now, November Eve, this is what the Celts used to do. And what happened once Christians started to adopt these customs, they changed it to All Saints Day. So now they changed it to All Saints Day or All Saints Mass. So you see, every saint that didn't have their own individual day, they would reverence all these saints on this same day. And they got this custom from the Celts, which lets you know it has no bearings. It's all paganism. So they've just heard what the Celts did, and they've changed it from All Hallows Eve and just gave it a nice name, All Saints Day. They've made you think that you're doing something good, reverencing the saint, when really you're not. Yeah, you're reverencing something else under the guise of you thinking you're reverencing the saint.
Right. Because the way they're putting the saint, put part on top of it, right? Mm-hmm. So they're trying to, okay, right. November Eve is sacred to the spirits of the dead. In the Western Islands, the old superstition is dying very hard and tradition is still well alive. It is dangerous to be out on November Eve because it is...
back then they believed it was dangerous to be out on the evening of November. They said it was dangerous to be out. Why? Because they believed spirits was coming from the other world. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, because it is the one night in the year when the dead come out of their graves to dance with the fairies on the hills.
And that's what they believe, man. This is what you celebrate when you're celebrating Halloween. You're celebrating the dead coming out of their graves from the other world to dance with the fairies on the hills, and they would wreak havoc that day. They would rob people. They would all get drunk. They would wreak havoc on that day. Go ahead.
Quran Khan. And it is their night. They do not like to be disturbed. Funeral games are held in their houses.
And this is like a whole night of horror. That's what this would have been. It was a whole night of horror. They would play funeral games. They said these spirits don't like to be disturbed. So now everyone would stay in their house for fear. And then they would have to light fires because they believe that the fire would do what? Ward off certain spirits. So they would have these big communal fires on top of hills and so forth. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Canada one concert. Samhain is the modern Irish Gaelic name for the month of November, though to be delivered from Samhain, meaning end of summer.
So the end of summer, and as you know, this is why in England, what happens, our clocks change around this time, man. Around this time of the year, our clocks change right along with these pagan festivals and whatnot. Why? Because they know it's the end of summer and daylight saving and all of those things. Go ahead.
It is probably no accident that 1st November is All Souls Day in the Christian calendar.
And even the scholars know this, that it's no coincidence that All Souls Day is the 1st of November in the Christian calendar, because you ain't celebrating they named it All Souls Day, but you ain't celebrating that. You're celebrating an ancient Celtic festival to other gods which you don't even know about. Go ahead.
Placed there to override and wipe out its pagan predecessor.
See, and they said placed there to wipe out its pagan predecessor, meaning to wipe out what came before it, what it actually is. So they tried to wipe out that and spin it and give you this, when really it's not. What they're giving you ain't what they're giving you. Really, you're celebrating the same thing the Celts were celebrating. Go ahead.
Samhain became known in English as November Eve or as Halloween,
And that's what it became. That's what it was known as, November's Eve or Halloween. Go ahead.
which is short for the eve of All Hallows Day.
Go ahead.
A 9th century text states, "The saints of the teeming world ennoble stormy Samhain." The modern Irish name for Halloween is not Samhain but Ochis Shamna, which means Eve of November or November night. The
So this had
exact date,
tons of different names. Go ahead.
the exact date of the original Samhain is subject to some controversy as a result of the change from Gaelic calendar
Give
to the
you know,
Roman.
give me the bottom paragraph where it says Samhain marks the pivotal point.
Samhain marks the pivotal point in the Gaelic year, the threshold between the summer and winter halves of the year. With
That's why they
winter,
celebrate, right? The point in the middle between the summer and winter. Go ahead.
with winter preceding summer, the old year ends and the new year begins at Samhain.
Go ahead.
Almost all modern pagans celebrate Samhain on 31st October.
So
The
now
date,
they celebrate Samhain on the 31st of October, the same day that you celebrate Halloween on the 31st of October. And the reason it's on the same day is because you celebrate the same thing. Go ahead.
31st of October, the date of Halloween, which only a tiny minority opting for the later date. Options vary, but some believe that the ancient Samhain was celebrated
Yeah,
over.
just so you know that they celebrate it as a 3-day feast. Because we started late, I'm gonna have to skip a few of the slides. Bear with me. Let me see if I need this one. Yeah, get me this one, Hakeem.
Samhain marked the time of the return to darkness, the forces of life being absorbed into the earth or into the other world, and the state of death or hibernation occurring until spring returned at Imbolc.
So the Imbolc, that was one of the festivals that was on the wheel of the year. So that's just another festival that they celebrated. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. It was at Samhain that final harvests were collected and any excess livestock were ritually slaughtered for feasting.
So
As
now they'll
offering-
collect all their livestock, and this is what they'll do. They would look around and see if they got enough provisions to provide for these animals for the rest of the year. And then if they didn't, a lot of these animals would get slaughtered and sacrificed. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan, as offerings and also food was preserved for the winter. To this day, it is supposed that picking blackberries after Halloween is bad luck. Folklore has it that the devil or puka, a not so nice fairy, has spat on them, or worse still, urinated on them.
So that's what they believe, that Satan or whatever's urinated on blackberries. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. As indicated in the ancient texts, it was thought that the boundary between the everyday realm of earth and the other world became thin, or even non-existent at this time.
No, this night, Halloween night, they believe that the realms became non-existent, meaning you could just travel from realm to realm, meaning you can go from the overworld to this world, and you could drag people from this world to the overworld. And if they did take them to the overworld, according to what they believe, these people could have come back. You'd be dead. Because the overworld is where the dead people dwell. But on this night, the dead would come out their graves and come to the middle world, what they called it. So this is what they believed. Go ahead. So on Halloween night or Hallows Eve, they would all stay in the house for fear. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. With the Sid and the dead being able to easily penetrate into the human world, in later Christian times, it was believed that the dead fairies and Tuatha de Danann would run amok and cause mischief as if they weren't placid and paid the proper respect.
So now they said the ancestors that died or the people that died, if they wasn't paid the proper respect on that day, they would run amok and cause havoc. So now, how did people pay the dead proper respect? By people going to their house and you feeding them. And that's what trick-or-treat is today. when you go to someone's house and you'd be like trick or treat, and they used to march around the house, and if you didn't treat them good, then that would bring you bad luck for the whole year. You didn't treat them good, the people from the other world would put a curse on you and punish you and all of that nonsense. So that's why during Halloween, people knock on people's doors, say trick or treat. Whereas nowadays, people do it as like a tradition thing, which is pagan. But back then, how they used to do it is, if that person didn't give you goods, it was considered bad luck. So that's where it came from. They was petrified of what was going on in the other world. And anyone that needed goods or food and whatnot, they would be kind to them because they didn't want bad luck. And then today, over time, that's became people dressing up in costumes and saying trick or treat. Whereas back then, it was the people from the other world visiting the house. If you get what I mean. How can you get what I mean?
Can't. I understand fully.
So that's what it was back then. It was the people from the other world visiting the house. Nowadays, you dress up like the people from the other world and knock on people's door, and then you say trick or treat, which is against God. Why? Because it ain't our culture, it ain't our customs, and these is things that they would do in reverence to other gods. So okay, get me this one.
Council. Offerings were made in the form of oat cakes and libations of milk. Barmbrack, Barmbrack, or Halloween brack, is a cake still eaten today that
This is what they used to eat that time of year. Go ahead.
That may have had some connection with this tradition, but it is also linked with divination and good luck.
So, like you said, if we saw that cake today, it would be definitely unlawful to eat it, right? Now we know that it's offered to other gods, right? Or
no, because that's just oat cake. Now they offer it to other gods. To us, it's just a piece of cake. But if you're getting in the spirit and you're eating this cake at this time of year for this purpose, then it would be unlawful. If it's just, you just like oat cake. Because remember, they also sacrifice chickens to their gods. That would mean that you can't eat chicken also. So whatever they do, that's just if you're doing it how they do it. But if you like oat cakes, it's fine to eat oat cakes because oats lawful to eat.
Go ahead,
Benjamin.
It's okay, sorry, for me, it's a bit like hot cross bun. I like hot cross bun, but they sell it all year round, but the history is Easter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So if you're buying that for Easter, then obviously you're part of the problem. But if you just like bun and you eat bun all year round, then it's no problem.
So it's more of a conscious. It's more of a conscious thing, really, right? Consciously doing something.
If you're taking part in what they're doing, then it's unlawful. But if you're just going about your business and you're eating chicken or whatever, just because they don't eat, like say for instance, fish, for example, it's lawful to eat fish. But if you're eating fish because it's Easter, that's when you do that. That's when you're doing it wrong.
Okay, calm.
So that's what pagans do. Christians, during Easter, they don't eat meat, they only eat fish. So if you're eating fish that weekend, and usually you don't eat fish, but that weekend you're eating fish, then obviously you're taking part of their customs and their holidays and whatnot. But if you're pescatarian and you eat fish anyway because it's part of your diet, then you want to proceed as normal.
Right, content. Go on. Appreciate it.
Sacrificial offerings were made to help ensure the return of the forces of life in the spring and to ward off negative actions by the
They would do this to ward off negative actions. Go ahead.
The gods and to deter blight and famine. Sacrificing a pig was a common in ancient times, and it is postulated that earlier still humans were sacrificed.
Why? Because the Celts were known for human sacrifices. So this is what they would do. In the beginning, they would sacrifice criminals and children. But if they didn't have enough criminals, they would knock on your door and sacrifice some innocent person. They would knock on your door and be like, yo, come man, it's time for a sacrifice, man. They would sacrifice whoever at their festivals. Go ahead.
Bog burials in Ireland exhibit ritually slain people who do not appear to be of the lowest classes.
So now it's letting you know that they sacrifice people, not even anyone, not even people of the lowest classes. Hold on. Let me skip this one for time's sake. Now, when you read on, they will let you know that obviously so-called Saint Martin also copied from the Celts also. Go ahead, Benjamin, get me this one.
This is a powerful time for divination work and contacting the spirit realm because the veil between the two worlds is at its thinnest at Samhain. There are several ways to do this. I have outlined two: the Samhain feast and a meditation.
So now this book right here, this book was written by one of the Wiccans and the Druids. So in this book, they was telling you how you celebrate Samhain and how you do your sacrifices and whatnot, and how you contact your ancestors, because that's what they're into. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Since ancient times, Samhain has been associated with prophecies and divination. The Druids were well known to perform divinations. One particular form, tarbiths, involved eating the flesh of a dog and the Druid being wrapped in a bull's hide to aid their clairvoyance while in a sleep trance.
So that's what they would do. They believe that doing that made them more spiritual. So they would eat dog's flesh, and they believe that made them more divine to do whatever they would do. So astrology and all the stuff that they was into, they believe that this gave them the edge at this time of year and dressing up and eating dog's flesh. Go ahead.
Irish mythology is full of portents and predictions, and the Druids are recorded in the Irish text as having at least 3 types of divination they undertook.
All right, skip the Irish names. Yeah, skip them names and pick it up from Samhain.
Samhain was considered the most opportune time for divination, and it was also a time when the whole country gathered in celebration, with the most important people being gathered together at Tara for the feast.
So Tara was a hill in Ireland, so this is where they would gather, and this is where they would gather, and this is where they would have festival fires. So today, you know these festival fires as bonfire night, but what you'll find that is Guy Fawkes and bonfire night has nothing to do with the bonfire and so forth. Go ahead.
So the bambrak, is that the cake they're talking about?
Yeah.
Still eaten today, contains a metal ring.
And they believe this would have a cake, they'll put a ring in there, and whoever eats it and finds the ring, they're going to get married next year. That's the nonsense they believed in. Give me it from the sacred fires. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Is that in the first paragraph? So okay.
Nah, the bottom one.
Cancer. The bonfire is a recurring theme within Celtic festivals.
This is letting you know the bonfire is a recurring theme within Celtic festivals. So this bonfire was going on way before King James and Guy Fawkes. So what happened is Parliament passed the law that everyone must celebrate the bonfire night. I believe they only stopped it in about 1959. But up until then, you had to celebrate it in England every year on the 5th of November. So what happened is they found the pagan custom and masked it with Guy Fawkes night and made everybody celebrate it. But really, what you were celebrating was a Celtic festival unknowingly. Go ahead.
Particularly in Ireland, ceremonies entered on the lighting of the winter fires are said to originate from Lumbora, the hero of the second battle of Motoya, and later. And this is a battle that they had. This was a battle that they had with which they claimed a battle that their gods have, and they lit a fire, and they say this is where the bonfire came from. They lit a fire there after they won the battle or some nonsense like that. Go ahead. and later on also hiking around 1450 BCE.
Also, any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll get to them. As Lucky, go ahead.
This being the case, the tradition of sacred fires in Ireland is some 3,500 years old.
So now these bonfires from Ireland is 3,500 years old. So now if King James bonfire is only from 1605, which is about what 400, 500 years max. They had these 3,500 years ago, and guess what? It all fell around the same time. They was having their bonfires from October through to November and so forth. At all their festivals, they would have these bonfires. So now, why is it called a bonfire? Because they would sacrifice people upon it, and there would be burnt bones upon that fire, whether it was humans or animals. So the original term of it was a bonfire. Then obviously changed the name later down the line to bonfire. And now this is how you know this to sacrifice people on there. Why? Because every year, what do? They burn Guy Fawkes on the bonfire. So what does Guy Fawkes blowing up Parliament have to do with him being put on a bonfire or bonfire? It's because that custom comes from the Celts. So they stole that old pagan custom from the Celtic people, and that's why they put Guy Fawkes on the bonfire. And really, all it is a Celtic custom that you're following unknowingly. Go ahead.
That's right.
Khan, destined to be married by the next Samhain or receive especially good luck. The Scottish bannock is a variant on the same theme.
Banyamin was still in this one. You're still in this one, Banyamin.
Oh, Salakia. My bad.
Canada on cancer. Fire seems to have been used at all 8 of the pagan festivals.
They use fire at every festival. Why? Because they had some kind of infatuation and worship gods and believe that this fire could ward off spirits and demons. And once you celebrate bonfire night, you're giving reverence to another god unknowingly. So you listen, this year, no more firework displays. I know everybody loves firework displays on November 5th or whatnot. It's unlawful to go to. So Lucky, go ahead.
Lucky said
it's unlawful to go to. Go ahead.
Lucky, so you say fireworks is unlawful to go to, yeah?
Yes, because it's all part of this whole bonfire night.
But are we allowed to buy them ourselves and do it with our families?
Nope. Because why don't you buy fireworks in July?
Because it's not there.
It is.
Is it? I don't even know. You know, I thought they're mainly kind of promote it this time of the year.
Listen, like now, all times of the year, you can buy pumpkin every time of the year. But if you buy pumpkin at this time of the year, it's because you can put it out and put a lamp in there. So now the same thing. You can get fireworks any time of the year. But if you're doing fireworks in November, you're doing what these people would do. And also, fireworks and bonfire night, when it comes to King James or whatnot, even if you're on the flip and say, nah, I'm doing this for King James, you couldn't do it anyway. Why? Because you're not a Christian and that's a Protestant holiday. So there's no way around it. So doing bonfire night and all of those things, it's a Christian holiday. So if you're not a Christian, I don't get why anyone would even do it if they want to lie and claim they're doing it for the whole King James thing. Also, Catholics celebrating bonfire night. The craziest thing is, I don't get why Catholics would celebrate it, because King James used to burn the Pope on the bonfire. Because remember, England broke off from the Roman Catholic Church because Henry VIII wanted another wife, and he said, you know what? I'm the head of the church, and that's why you had all these wars between England and this is why you had the whole Spanish Armada. Because why the Spanish Armada was coming to take over England and kill Queen Elizabeth and put a Catholic. You know what? I'll get to that next week. So Lucky, go ahead.
Canada on cancer. Most notably at Beltane, 2 fires, the summer solstice and Samhain.
So
Halloween.
They would have their main fire festival. Go ahead.
The Halloween bonfire can be traced all the way back to the ancient festival at Tara, held every Samhain. All fires were extinguished all over Ireland before the sunset. The sacred fire was supposedly lit by the Druids at Taligla and
So
brought
the Druids was the Celtic priests. Go ahead.
to Tara, where the king, nobility, and druids presided over the lighting of the fire. After the Tara fire was lit, fires were lit all over the country, symbolizing the offering of
For
warmth.
bonfire, what do you do? Light fires all over the country. Bonfire now, what do you do? Light fires all over the country. Go ahead. Everyone having firework displays in the garden, the kids holding sparklers, all of those kind of things. Listen, man, all of it comes from the ancient Celts. Listen, we've all done it unknowingly, holding the sparklers, fireworks in the garden. Yes, Lucky, go ahead.
All over the country, symbolizing the offering of warmth and protection through the dark months of the year and its entry point.
If you're out celebrating bonfire night and whatnot, that means you believe in all of this entry point. You believe in these sacrifices and this entry point and all of this nonsense that the Celts believe. So that's why we can't celebrate it. Why? Because our God don't want us to do that. Our God don't tell us about no entry points. Our God don't tell us about no place called the overworld where spirits go and come back. That's Celtic culture. Hold on, let me see if I need this one. This is talking about St. Patrick. Obviously, St. Patrick, they say he was a slave and he went to Ireland and converted Ireland to Christianity. This is what they say, but hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Give it from however. Actually, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Give me this slide, actually. I think I need this one.
Khan. However, in contradiction to the common view, Ireland did not become Christian almost overnight. In truth, it took about 300 years for the whole country to convert to Christianity, which is evidenced by both legends and archaeological evidence from graves.
So now in Ireland, they found a lot of pagan graves. Now the Christian graves, their bodies would face a certain way, so they would know, all right, this person's a Christian based on the whole burial process. Then with the pagans, they would bury them with certain things, so they knew, all right, then this body's this much old, and it's got all this pagan stuff around it, so they understood that, all right, then paganism was still around in Ireland at the time. So that's how they knew. Go ahead.
Khan. As a result, the transition to Christianity involved the retention of many of the cultural norms of the pagan religion and administration.
And it goes, once they did convert to Christianity, they kept a lot of the pagan traditions, man. All the traditions of Christianity comes from paganism. Ain't hard to. All you have to do is do a little bit of research and you'll see everything that the Christians have. A lot of their holidays comes from paganism. Go ahead.
Khan. The sacred fire stayed. Although it was no longer part of the pagan ceremony, it remained of vital importance in the celebration of the now Christianized seasonal festivals. The sacred fire continued to be used at Samhain and is still common in modern day.
That's Samhain. Go ahead.
So like you said, I did that what you just said there kind of cut out on the mic, sir. So like,
I was saying the sacred fire continued to be used at Samhain.
Oh, can't. And it's still common in modern day celebrations, whether secular or religious. The tradition extends beyond Ireland into Britain, but date of the bonfire celebration was moved to the 5th of November.
Hold on. Wait. So it says the date of the Celtic bonfire was moved to when, Hakayan?
Moved to the 5th of November after the Catholic
November. And what did they pass in Parliament? Remember the 5th of November. That's the saying. Remember the 5th of November. So now if they're telling you that Samhain and the 5 festivals was pagans and then they moved it to the 5th of November, what would that make bonfire night?
Pagan.
There you go. See? That's it, man. A little bit of research will give you all the answers. So bonfire night is pagan. Listen, I know we all like to light fireworks and go to where is it? Pipes. Where is it? People go pipes. Did they go pipes? Firework displays. Where did they go for these firework displays? Rally Regis. Listen, man. I know a few people's gonna go to a firework display. Salakia is some lawful Salakia.
What about watching? What about watching it? What about watching the other one on the telly?
You can watch whatever you want on the TV.
Because they put it on the telly, don't they? Live sometimes, especially in London, they do a really big thing about it, and then they film it.
Listen, you can watch whatever you want on the TV, but just understand this is pagan and it's idolatry and it's just something
Not
the
the
cops
spirit
did.
of it. Not the spirit of
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
it's just
I know
something
what you mean.
the cops did. Listen, I can't stand them fireworks. I'm trying to sleep and all I can hear is fireworks and fireworks and fireworks. I found it was pagan and I was like, no wonder I didn't like. No wonder I didn't like it anyway.
I find them very, very pretty, man. They come out with some serious ones, man. Some good ones.
Listen, standing in the cold in the middle of November, it sounds crazy to me. Standing in the cold and wait, hold on. At the bonfire festivals, do they light fires as well? Because I ain't never seen one. To be fair,
I've been to a bonfire one before where they just everybody pile up some chairs or whatever, and then they got this little stuffed guy on the top, with a tied to a stick.
And that's Guy Fawkes. And listen to this. Yeah. Guy Fawkes wasn't even the main man in the gunpowder plot. Guy Fawkes wasn't even the main man. Guy Fawkes didn't even become famous until like the 1800s. Because why? Before Guy Fawkes, who they would put on the bonfire was the Pope. And then what happened is the Catholics and the Christians ended up fighting in a war together. And then to still put the Pope on the bonfire would offend the Catholics. So they said, all right, we can't put the Pope on there no more. And that's why they put Guy Fawkes on there now. So Guy Fawkes didn't really become famous till the 1800s anyway. Right. So then they changed the name to Guy Fawkes Night. Before that, it wasn't called Guy Fawkes Night. Salaki, go ahead.
Salaki, so what's this part here where it says, after the Catholic gunpowder plot of 1605, what's the gunpowder plot?
Oh, yeah. Also, the gunpowder plot is when Guy Fawkes and Robert Catesby and Tresham and when they got caught up in the whole Montego letter, and then someone gave it to King James, and then obviously found the whole 36 barrels of gunpowder in the cellar. So that's what it is.
Right. So okay.
Listen, Guy Fawkes looked King James in the face and said to him, "Yo, if you hadn't arrested me, I would have blown you up." I had to start beating him after that.
So the plot was to kill King James.
Yeah, so the plot was to blow up Parliament, blow up all the noble families, kidnap King James's daughter, force her to turn England back to Catholicism, and then Catholics would live happily. Because obviously at that time, all the Catholics lost their land because if you didn't go to church every Sunday, you'd get fined like 2,000 something. And they had lost all their lands because they couldn't afford the fines. These are the stage when they was hiding the Catholic priests in tunnels. And believe it or not, listen, there's a place in England we still need to go. So there's underground tunnels where they used to hide the Catholic priests whenever Queen Elizabeth used to send the spies to find the Catholic priests and arrest whoever was housing them. But they got all these things in England. Say that again.
They're in London.
All over England. I think they got a few in York as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they're all over England.
If you want me to, I can probably go out, but we'll talk about it afterwards if you want.
Listen, I'm trying to go there myself, so lucky. I'm trying to go there myself. Listen, I'm gonna let you know when I'm gonna go. We can roll, get some footage.
Yeah, I've got the camera as well, so yeah, that'll be good. Good to go, man. So lucky. As a result of the attempt to kill King James I and his Parliament, Bonfire Night is celebrated on the anniversary of the failed assassination in Britain. It has also been common to burn effigies of Guy Fawkes, Khan, and also the Pope on the fires, something that still happens today, particularly in Protestant part of Northern Ireland.
Go ahead.
The large extent of original sacred meaning of the fires at all 8 of the festivals has been lost. Certainly in Britain, this is true.
The meaning of fires in Britain has been lost. Why? Because most people don't even know why they do it, but this is the reason why they do it. There's a reason why King James incorporated a bonfire in Parliament and whatnot. Yeah, go ahead, Benjamin, get me this one. I might have to skip a few slides for time's sake because we started late. I don't even think I got time to get through all of them. So lucky, go ahead, Benjamin.
Canada on concert. It was common for young people until recent times to go out and cause havoc and harmless mischief, impersonation.
So now it's common for young people to go out and cause havoc And that's what happened. That's what they. So now during Halloween, this is when they would go outside, when they would go out and cause havoc. They would go out and wreck the place and do all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
And harmless mischief, impersonation of the spirits of the dead and the SIDS.
And now they would impersonate the spirits of the dead. So now, when you go out dressed in Halloween costumes, you're so-called impersonating the spirits of the dead. And this is why everybody goes out like looking scary, like zombies and witches and all of those things. Why? Because they're impersonating the spirits of the dead. Go ahead.
Who could be capricious. This has clearly evolved into the modern tradition of trick-or-treat.
So now, people going out and causing mischief and impersonating the spirits of the dead, in modern day, they said that has now become trick-or-treat, which is letting you know where trick-or-treat comes from. It comes from when people used to go out and impersonate the dead. Go ahead. So my thing is this: how can you claim you believe in God and you're going out trick-or-treating, which is you giving reverence to another God, and you're impersonating the dead? Why are you going to impersonate the dead when you're alive, man? It makes zero sense. Go ahead.
This has clearly evolved into Salakia. It is well known that games took place at the Ornak or assembly, and Samhain was no exception. So the idea of games that has survived into the modern era is undoubtedly derived from the ancient games held at Samhain. Although
and now they would play games, and now in Samhain they used to play games with apples. They used to put their face and take apples out of bowls with their mouth, and they used to give apples out. And this is why Halloween is almost synonymous with apples. Every Halloween, what do people like to give? What, a toffee apple? People like to give toffee apples in there.
Apple bobbin.
Yeah, apple bobbin there. That's where it all comes from. It all comes from what the Celtic people used to do. Go ahead.
Is undoubtedly derived from the ancient games held at Samhain, although we have no real accounts of what those games were. Coupled with the interest in divination at this time, some of the games that developed or survived into the modern era are divination games, such as ducking for apples.
And that's where it comes from. So these are them old divination games, ducking for apples. Go ahead.
Much of the games persisted into Christian era, but by
and most of these games into the Christian era. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
So this is basically the culture of the white man.
La'ar, because these wasn't white people. These was like the Celtic people, which is Japhet and his sons.
Oh, okay. So it's their culture then.
Yeah, so this would be the culture of the Japhetic people.
But because white people have taken it on and they do it like religiously, would you say that it's their culture now as well?
Yes, but originally it belonged to the Celts. But the oppressor makes everything there, so they've stole their culture and added it into Christianity. And now, because they forced near enough the whole world to become Christian, that's why everybody does it now.
So it would be safe to say, so it'd be safe to say that it is it's an adopted culture that the white man has taken from Japhet then.
Yes, but you always want to let people know it was the Celtic culture originally before the Romans got there.
Right,
So it originated with the Celts. So you always want to let people know that's where it originated, because what will happen is someone will cut you and say, you said it's the white man's culture. No, it's not. The Celts weren't white. So that's what you always want to say. It originated with the Celts.
Khan, sir. It's an adopted culture. Yeah, Khan, sir. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Much of the games persisted into the Christian era, but by the mid-20th century, many of them were no longer taking place. Fortunately, there are records of what they involved, which are explored in chapter 5.
Go ahead.
Coming of the dead. As a time devoted to the dead, the ancestors, it was common to set a place at the dinner table for the departed.
During Samhain, what they would do, they would set a seat at the dinner table for the dead. Like, let's say someone's passed away or whatever, they'll leave a seat for the dead and they'll put food there. This is what black people used to do during the 9 nights. They used to leave food out for the dead. They used to believe, yeah, the dead person's coming back home. Listen, man, that don't happen, man. I believe in Ecclesiastes 9:5, it says the dead know nothing, man. When you're dead, man. You ain't coming back to eat no food. When you're dead, you ain't coming back to eat no food. Listen, man, if we just understood the Bible, we would understand that a lot of this stuff to try and feed us is nonsense. Go ahead.
In some cases, food was left on the plate as an actual rather than symbolic offering that would be left overnight. Candles were lit in the window.
They would like candles, and they would like candles, man. Whereas in the Bible it says don't what like candles for the, like fire for the dead, something along them lines in the law somewhere. Because why? This is pagan customs. Like you see, like when someone's got their dead loved one's picture there with a ton of candles around it. That's not our customs. That ain't our customs. That's what these people do. That's what the Celts do. Like candles, and they have a shrine and all the candles around the picture and all of those things. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. Candles were lit in the window to help guide the spirits of the ancestors to the family home.
They would like candles in the windows, and this was meant to guide the spirit of their ancestors, meaning these lights in the windows would help them see the house and help them make their way there to go and eat this food that they've prepared for them, which is it's never going to happen. But go ahead.
Windows and doors were also left ajar to aid the spirits of the family dead.
Would leave the doors locked. You know, listen, a smart man would have done all his robberies that night, man.
That's right.
A smart man would have realized, yo, this night all the doors is left ajar. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir, or if somebody was looking for food, they were hungry.
That's it. They would have realized every door's open tonight. Listen, man, tonight's the night I can go. Every door's open. I can go get what I want. Go ahead.
Windows and doors were also left ajar to aid the spirits of the family dead to enter the home, as it was considered that the rids and ancient burial mounds were portal or entry-exit points between the middle world and the other world. Offerings were often left at mounds.
So now they believe that now, and like I said, they believe that this night the dead could come back. So that's why they would leave the door open for their ancestors to come and get that food. Lucky, how can get me this one?
Quran Khan, failure to make appropriate gestures to the ancestors at Samhain was considered to be bad luck and disrespect.
Now, this is why in trick or treat, people used to be. This is why kids would knock your door. Until this day, people believe, right, if I don't give the kids a treat, I'm going to get bad luck. So that's why they knocked the door, because they believed back then failure to make appropriate gestures to the ancestors would bring bad luck. And these people dress up as spirits of the dead. They dress up as they dress up as dead people and make out they're the ancestors and knock your door, and you have to give them a treat. And if you don't give them a treat, it's bad luck, according to what they used to believe. So that's what Halloween is. Halloween just comes from that. They've just tweaked it a little bit, but it's the same. It's the same thing. Go ahead.
And disrespect could lead to a person being ostracized. For instance, a person who ate the food left for ancestors would be barred from participating in the Samhain festivities.
So now they'll scare you like, yo, if you eat food that was left for the dead, you're going to be banned from the festivities. Go ahead.
It was also considered that after their own death, they would not be able to return to their descendants to participate at Samhain.
Well, now, and they was taught, if you eat that food, when you die, you're going to be in the other world. And when Samhain comes around, and the earth, and there's no divide between the two worlds, you won't be able to come back to celebrate Samhain because of what you've done. So now they used to live thinking, all right, I'm going to be good, because when I go to the other world, at Samhain, I can come back to this world. Now they taught if you ate the food, then you can't come back. Go ahead.
Qadwan Khan. A quite considerable punishment. It was also thought that those who did...
Go ahead.
Salaki, what was that, sir?
And they consider that a terrible punishment.
Oh, Khan. It was also thought that those who did not throw out dirty water and damp down the fire could be attacked by unwanted spirits of the dead.
And that's what they believed as well. If you didn't put out the fire and throw out the dirty water, your house wasn't protected and you could be attacked by unwanted spirits of the dead. So they believed that their ancestors was good, but those other spirits of the dead that weren't good. And they was afraid of being attacked by those other unwanted spirits. So that whole horror movie stuff where, you know, where everybody's afraid of a dead person. Whereas everybody's afraid of a dead person, it comes from all this Celtic stuff. Listen, man, dead people can't harm you, man. People can harm you when they're alive. You don't need to worry about someone dead coming back and harming you, man. If people want to harm you, they worry about people that's alive harming you. The dead know nothing. The dead can't do anything to you. All of that comes from Celtic beliefs and horror movies. Go ahead.
In some legends, the dead or the fairies ride out on horses causing havoc. And to be out alone on Samhain night is a risk being killed or abducted by them.
And why? Because they said people used to wreak havoc. And they said if you're out alone on that night, you risk being killed or abducted by what they call the spirit of death, the people that came from the otherworld. Go ahead, man.
So like you said, do you think the government was involved in any of this kind of stuff? Or not?
Nah, this was just the Celtic priests that just come up with this nonsense.
Right, okay, can't.
This is like just anything. What they would do, they would watch the sun go down, and the man would sit down and be like, you know what? I think there's another world over there. And then someone else would be like, you might be right, you know. And then before you know it, becomes a doctrine. So that's what they did. So they looked somewhere that they can't prove it. They didn't know where the sun went. So in their mind, well, where the sun goes, we don't see where the dead goes. So the dead must go where the sun goes. And then that's how they come up with all this nonsense. Then before you know it, it near enough becomes law amongst their culture.
Right.
Yes, Lucky, go ahead.
It is well recorded that Samhain was celebrated in ancient times at the hill of Tara.
So now they had a hill where they used to light fires. Hold on, I just need to see if I need this slide for time's sake. Hold on, bear with me. Yeah, go ahead, give me the bottom one.
Alil, king of Connaught, offers a prize to whoever would tie a with rag around one of the dead men's leg. Nera is brave enough to take on this task.
Now, this is when they say that one man that took on a task, he had a conversation with a dead man. Go ahead.
Nera is brave enough to take on this task and has a conversation with one of the dead men who asks for a drink. Due to the practice of smalit, covering the fire, the house is protected from the spirits of the other world.
They believe that lighting fires would protect you from the spirits of the other world. So this is why everybody used to gather on that hill called Tara and light fires, and the Druids would light fires because they believe lighting these fires protected them from the other world. Nowadays, you know it as what? Bonfire night. Go ahead.
By a ring of invisible fire. And another house.
A ring of invisible fire, so these spirits can't come through because this invisible fire is around. Go ahead.
And another house is protected by a ring of water, as they have thrown out the dirty water earlier.
So they had superstitions back then that your house is protected if you throw out the dirty water. Now, if you've ever been to a black house, black people have the most superstitions, man. You gotta throw salt over your right shoulder. Don't put umbrellas up in the house. Witches will come. Don't cross people on the stairs. Don't step over somebody when they're lying down. This is what they say. Don't measure somebody. You heard that one? Yeah. Don't measure somebody. Listen, this is all blackity black folklore. It's all folklore. Now the Celts had their own folklore. So their folklore was like, yo, if you don't throw out the dirty water, this is going to happen. If you don't light these fires or put the fires out, this is going to happen. So over time, one man would tell some folklore, and over time it will stick. Like, we have all this folklore. If you break a mirror, you get 7 years bad luck. All of that nonsense. These are things that black people actually believe, which is crazy. Until you actually come in the truth, you realize that you're allowed to walk on free cracks on the pavement. That's right. Before the truth, you'd be petrified to walk. Like, before the truth, you'd see, what is it? You can't see one magpie. It's bad luck. I can't remember how it goes.
Yeah, that's right. I still this day actually do it myself accidentally.
Listen, yeah, you have to stop doing that because that's some Greek nonsense.
Yeah, I still do that now. If I see one, I'm looking over. Where's the other one? I don't even know where it come from.
Ah, man, listen, man. You in the UPK, you can't be doing that no more. Listen, if you see one magpie, half a magpie, who cares? If you see a magpie, roadkill magpie, who cares? All of that means nothing. All of that is nonsense. This whole
Rubbish.
you can't go through this sign where you get bad luck. All of that is garbage. Bad things happen to you when you don't serve the God of the Bible. That's what happens.
Right,
See all of this magpie. Forget the magpies, man. Listen, one man didn't see a magpie and we went into slavery. That didn't happen, man. What happened is we broke God's laws. That's right. We broke God's laws and ended up in slavery.
That's right.
Magpies had nothing to do with walking on cracks on the pavement. Had nothing to do with breaking a mirror. If it was to do with breaking the mirrors, how much mirrors did we break? So lucky as yo. We've had a horrible life for longer than 7 years, man. Which lets you know, listen, man, breaking God's laws is where punishment comes from. All of the superstition stuff is nonsense. It's lucky. Go ahead.
Lucky, sir. I've got one superstition. Probably is the black cat crossing the road. That one is.
Yeah, that black cat walks across you. That's bad luck too, so to say. And all of that comes from when they used to believe that witches used to have black cats. They used to hate black cats because they used to believe witches. No, they believed that the witch turned into a black cat. That's the nonsense that they used to believe in like the 1500s. That the witches transform and turn into a black cat. Go ahead.
What about the bread on top of the door?
I don't know about that one. I'll eat that bread. Okay.
Dry bread on top of the door.
What's it supposed to do?
I don't know.
I'll put some butter in that bread and eat that bread.
Not that bread. You wouldn't.
In my house. I use sandwiches. You see people with these weird superstitions. Listen, man. Tell them your bread's just for a sandwich, man. That's it. Tell them bread's just for a sandwich. People get scared of being in the mirror. Candyman. And no, what was it before Candyman? It was Bloody Mary, right?
Yeah, Candyman.
Yeah. So people used to look in the mirror and say, "Don't say Bloody Mary." Listen, Bloody Mary is dead and gone a long time ago, man. Bloody Mary died at the age of 40? She died at the age of 42 a long time ago, man. They call her Bloody Mary because I believe she killed about over 280 certain Protestants, if I'm correct. She used to burn them at the stake, so that's how she got the name Bloody Mary. That's how she got the name, because they say she used to kill all the Protestants left, right, and center. But hold on, let me skip this for time's sake. Let me see what slides I got. I got 10 minutes left on that. Hold on. Bear with me.
It's Halloween today or tomorrow?
Say that again.
Is it today or tomorrow, sir?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Cool.
So yeah, don't be surprised if people knock you door. I'll be honest with you, people ain't knock my door in a few years.
Yeah.
They ain't knock my door. They ain't knock my door in a few years. I believe the angels isn't camping around the house, keeping them away. I believe that the Bible says that encampeth around the righteous. They're not my door in a few years.
For their safety, though, isn't it?
I open the door and say, "Look, man, go down the road with that, man. Get me better go down the road with that." Listen, I'm telling you, for wonder to the I.S.U.P.K. And the Lord for giving us this truth. My kids ain't never celebrated Halloween, man.
That's right.
Man. They didn't have to do the nonsense that I used to do. Listen, I remember being too poor to be able to afford a massacre. And listen, I got the baby powder. I crunched my face with the baby powder. I used the ketchup as blood. I was knocking the doors. And listen, man.
Oh my God.
Simple as could be, man. Listen, I'm telling you, being in the truth is a great thing. Our children don't have to do the nonsense that we did.
That's right. They got something to hold on to, something to follow. You know what I mean?
They got real culture and righteous culture. Instead of having to do the nonsense that we do. That's lucky. Go ahead. Give me.
Is this me or the one?
Hold on.
Or is this you?
Yeah, go ahead and get me this one.
With the onset of Christianity, the festival of All Saints was introduced to Ireland in the 7th century. The date was to change to the 1st of November by a church.
Now, once Christianity started adopting the Celtic customs, they started to change dates and steal their culture. And now I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Pope Gregory III that started All Saints Day, and then after him it was Pope Gregory IV that took it worldwide and made it national. So now they just copied Samhain and just changed the name All Saints Day. And then Pope Gregory III, he's the one that started it. Pope Gregory IV, he's the one that ran with it. Go ahead.
Cut on Khan.
Wait, I'm going to skip some. Bear with me. Give me this one. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. On the Isles of Man, New Year's Day was regarded as the 1st of November until relatively recently. The murmurers.
The mummers, what these mummers used to do, these were men, these was local men that used to dress up in masks and dance around houses. They used to do this. This is a part of Halloween and trick-or-treating as well. They used to dance around houses in ancient times. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. The mummers play, a form of re-enchantment of old pagan beliefs, would take place with mummers going from door to door on Halloween singing a song.
Go from door to door, like how trick-or-treaters go from door to door. Go ahead.
Singing a song. Tonight is New Year's night. Hop Tuna children also participated by going around begging and saying rhymes or giving.
What do children do during trick-or-treat? They go around begging. So now what do children do during trick-or-treat? They go around begging. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. This echoes down to the modern day with trick or treat, often involving a song, dance, or some kind of.
And you know that Samhain is Halloween, because back then they used to go around begging with children. Nowadays, children go around begging for trick or treat. It's the same thing with a different name. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan. On the doorstep in return for some treat, usually sweets or cake. In Britain, particularly England and Northern Ireland, the tradition is displaced to the 5th of November, with children begging a penny for a guy. I remember that.
And they moved this to the 5th of November. Go ahead. Let's lock it back in 1 second.
Cut on, cut.
So Lucky, go ahead.
Hold on, Khan. In Britain, particularly England and Northern Ireland, the tradition is displaced to the 5th of November, with children begging a penny for a guy.
Now, on the 5th of November, there would be children begging a penny for the guy, meaning they would have a guy fox blown up doll and they would beg money for the guy. Go ahead.
I remember doing it actually, which is a stuffed effigy or guido guy. Guido guy forks to be burned on the bonfire, although in Northern Ireland, this is sometimes an effigy of the Catholic Pope.
Go ahead.
Also popular throughout the British Isles was for young people to get up to harmless mischief. For instance, removing doors from sheds, moving items to unusual places, and letting cows out of the field, etc.
So they would cause mischief. They would let out the cows. They would steal people's goods. They would wreak havoc. Oh, let me skip for time's sake. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Get me this one, Benjamin.
Canada Council. It was also common at Samhain for people in masks, mummers, and suits.
Hakian.
Yeah, Khan.
Hakian, get me when find out when are the most pumpkins sold.
Khan.
It's like you go ahead, Benjamin.
It was also common at Samhain for people in masks and suits, traditionally of straw, to go around villages and towns to beg for food, drink,
so now
or money.
To go around and beg for food, and when you trick or treat, you're going out as a beggar, begging for food. You dressed up as one of the evil spirits from the other world, and you're begging for food. Go ahead.
If people were stingy, they were thought to receive bad luck and misfortune.
That's why you say trick or treat. And if they don't give you something, they believe that they would receive bad luck back then. But nowadays, you just go there and say trick or treat, and they give. Some people buy sweets to give to the kids when they're not there though. If you're a parent, don't give trick or treat as nothing. Why? Because you're allowing them to do this pagan nonsense that they're doing. You give them gifts and sweets this year, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to come next year. Now, you might not go out and celebrate it, but as long as you're giving them stuff, you're participating in it. Maybe if everybody gave them nothing, they would stop going out and stop trick-or-treating because they would know that they're not going to get nothing off nobody. So if they come to you, though, don't give them a thing. Slucky, go ahead.
If people were stingy, they were thought to receive bad luck and misfortune in the year ahead. In some cases, this tradition has transferred from the Celtic New Year to the modern New Year. In Scotland, the Hogmanay tradition was of a fire in the kitchen center that the mummers, geysers would dance around clockwise.
They would dance around clockwise. They would celebrate and dance around the fire clockwise. And I'm sure at these bonfire nights they'll be having celebrations dancing around the fire. Now, I ain't never been to one, but from what I've seen from videos, at these so-called bonfire nights they have today, you have performers dancing around the fire. The same thing that these mummers was doing way back in the days. Go ahead.
If they were well looked after, this was thought to bring the household good luck.
And now if they danced around it clockwise, they believe that brought the household good luck. If they danced around it anti-clockwise, it brought the house bad luck. Hold on, let me see what I got. This basically means, hold on. Actually, I ain't even got no time to go into all these. Slucky, how did you get? Was you able to get that for me?
Yeah, can't. It's when was it here? Late September to the 31st of October.
See?
And also around 24 million pumpkins are sold in the UK each year for Halloween.
See, and 24 million pumpkins is sold in the new year for Halloween. So now, back in the days before they used the pumpkin, it was a turnip. And if there's a story called Stingy Jack. His name was Stingy Jack. I think they changed the name to Jack-o'-lantern. So now what happened is this man, they say this man was a cruel man and he couldn't make it into heaven. So he tried to go to hell and Satan turned him away from the house and yo, you can't come in here. And then what Satan gave him was a lamp and a turnip, and he put the light inside the turnip to help him navigate through the earth. And that's why you have the light in the pumpkin today. Anyway, with that, that's the end of the class. I'm so lucky. Hakim, you can call it. We'll be here tomorrow with the scripture breakdown class. Also, we're going to go into the gunpowder plot. We're going to go all the way in depth into Galfolk's life, how he started off as a Protestant before he converted to Catholicism. And so, go ahead, Hakim, you can call it.
Amardium. Correct, Zakia. Amardium Shabbat. Amardium. Barak. Yahweh Bashim al Class dismissed. Every class down the bar. 4 out of that.
Also in Christ, also in Christ.
Appreciate it. I won't be looking at magpies anymore.
Water again. All right. For water to everyone online, we'll be here tomorrow. All right. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, sir.